Oh my God, it's Monday night again. It's a hot and steamy one. I don't know where you are in your part of the country, but it's going to be a scorcher here in the Northeast. Jersey's supposed to hit 100 plus temperatures with the heat index. Oh my gosh. Okay, enough about the weather. We're talking about real estate. If this is your first time here, why? Hold on one second. Sorry about that. I had me on had my channel open. My name is Jackie Baker. This is your weekly live dose of real estate reality. We were talking about the housing market for next year. So yeah, they're already out there. The analysts, the experts are already throwing all their stuff out there about what they think is going to happen next year. Are prices going to rise? Are they going to crash? Honestly, I don't think anybody knows, but we got to talk about it. We have to talk about what the experts are saying, right? So before we get into that, I'd like to bring on my special guest all the way from Orange County, California. We have Mr. Mike Patel. Hello,
Hello.
Mike. How are
Hello.
you?
Hi, Jackie. How are you?
Got a little applause going for you. Thank you so much for being here today, Mike. So yeah, we got a lot got a lot to talk about. So
Yep.
they're already throwing out their the predictions for 2025. And I mean, yeah, we're halfway through 24, so I guess it's time to start, throwing things out there, what they think is going to happen, maybe to build some hope up. I don't know, how do you feel? Do you think next year is going to be better than what we're
Yeah,
dealing with
it's
now?
been challenging last few years, and it seems like it may be challenging, but things are getting better depending who you ask. There's a lot of predictions, a lot of analysts, they have different predictions. So even as agents, professional agents, it's hard for us to predict, but we go by statistics, and I'm sure we'll talk about that as we go along.
Yes, absolutely. So not going to waste any time. Let's get right into this because I know everybody wants to know. So, Jen, I have my producer Jen in the background. Jen, could you pull up that first article with the housing market outlook? Here we go. Can we get it? Okay, here we go. Awesome. Okay. All right, we can stop right there, Jen. So this is from Fast Company. As we head into mid-July, the 2024 U.S. housing market has already begun shifting out of the seasonal window when there's usually the most upward pressure on home prices and started moving into the softer seasonal window. Even if there are some month-over-month declines in the second half of 24, driven by softening markets around the Gulf, most housing analysts still expect national home prices to finish 2024 with positive growth. This would mark the 13th consecutive year of positive national home price appreciation. But what about 2025? Some housing market experts are already making their predictions, and the Resi Club has put together a roundup for the full year 2025 home price forecast. The finding, the average forecast tracked by Resi Club expects U.S. home prices to rise 2.5% in 2025. So, Jen, let's stop right there. Let's look at U.S. home price forecast. Now we have Wells Fargo, Goldman Sachs, Wells Fargo, Mortgage Bankers Association, Morgan Stanley, Zelman, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. Now, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, Mike, they're like ultra conservative here. They're saying 1.1.5%, 0.5%. Moody's is showing, it looks like to me, that's a decline. It's like, or 0.3%.
Right.
Right? I
Yeah.
mean, I wanted to talk about this tonight because last week I was on a webinar. We have a guy here in New Jersey. He runs a real estate valuation company, and he does these webinars 3 times a year for all the real estate agents about his predictions for the New Jersey market. He's predicting next year home prices are going to normalize, and it's going to be the normal increase of like 4 to 5% that we've normally seen in New Jersey prior to the pandemic. What are your thoughts, like say out in your market, out in Orange County?
Well, yeah, I'm in Orange County, and usually what I've noticed is if the average is 3 or 4 or 5% raise, then Orange County, Southern California, or West Coast is even higher. And I agree with you on the predictions. Of course, they're all predictions and reports that we read, but the reports I've seen also are predicting anywhere from 3 to 5%, depending on where you are. Are you in the mid states, East Coast, West Coast? things like that. But I think a good prediction would be 4 to 5% in 2025, assuming everything stays the way they are, nothing dramatic happens or disaster happens.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, I think their forecast here, like Goldman Sachs, Wells Fargo, I think that's in line what we're expected to see here in New Jersey. But again, like you said, you don't know. I mean,
We
if
don't
the
know.
inventory is still a problem, it could be higher price, or we could still be stagnant. I mean,
Yep.
we're this summer right now. I mean, it's definitely slowing down as in my market. I don't know what
Mhm.
it's like by you right now, but it's definitely you could tell it's summer. Like last summer, it wasn't
Yes,
this slow.
right. Yes,
Is that what you're finding?
yeah, we're finding here, at least in Orange County where I'm at, there is definitely a slowdown. Inventory is also increasing. We are at 17% inventory increase from last year, which is significant. But at the
Wow.
end of the day, it's not that significant because inventory was low anyways.
Yeah.
So yes, we
Sure.
are seeing a slowdown, summer slowdown, and it may be because of the high interest rate. People or the buyers are frustrated and they are waiting for the rates to go down. That's my thinking, is that they want to lower rates so the payments are lower.
Exactly.
These are the
So
prices. Yeah.
now, I mean, what are your thoughts about now they're talking about the Fed's gonna come back and reduce the federal interest rate in September. That's the rumor right now.
Mhm.
And I believe that will happen because it's just in time for the election, you
Yeah,
know?
that's yeah.
But I don't know if it's gonna be enough to bring people back in to buy. Like this webinar I watched last week with this guy, he thinks the election's not gonna have any impact on the housing market at all this fall. And
Right.
I was shocked that he said that. I'm like, I what?
Yeah.
Like, you don't every election, like every general election, presidential election, I mean, the market typically slows down in the fall, like we're like slower than we normally see.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's been your experience, but that's what I've seen since I've been
Yeah,
in this business.
I think you're right. I read some reports, and I belong to other channels that are network channels, groups, and all that. And the discussion is, generally speaking, September, October, it slows down. It slows down. That is right, because people want to know who's going to come in, what's going to happen, and what's
Yeah.
the impact going to be next year on the economy, depending on who comes in. So
Yep.
there is a waiting period, but that does not mean that transactions really slow down. They're still there, but they're not increasing. So that's what
Right.
I've heard. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. So Jen, do we have any questions yet? I'm just looking. Um, Let me see. Vet MX Life. He's talking about New Jersey prices. You see him? There we go. Hoping New Jersey prices go back to 2018 prices, looking for good market turndowns all over nation, just my input. You know what? I would love to see prices go back to 2018. I don't think it will. I think they're elevated so much. Any reduction that we see now, it's still going to be higher than what we had prior to the pandemic, unfortunately. So that's what I'm thinking. Mike, you think that too?
Well, there's one thing we can tell why prices may not go down, and that's inventory. It's all about inventory. If you look at the charts, we are way low inventory compared to the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah.
Historically, we're way low. So until the inventory goes up, prices are going to hold on there. That's why we are seeing home price increase despite the home prices and despite the higher mortgage rate. So
Yeah.
until we have a jump in inventory, we're going to see prices inch up. That's just reality, I think.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, because we're seeing that same thing with the housing, with the interest rates. It had here in Jersey, it really didn't impact the sales at all. So,
Right.
well, here's the thing. Oh, on Saturday, I went to an open house with my clients. I could not believe it. Now, here I'm saying the market's slowing down, but this one particular home, completely renovated, gorgeous home, about 15, between 15 and 1600 square feet, no basement, built on a slab. But again, beautifully renovated. The line was down the street, and the price was like 724. And I was surprised for that neighborhood because I didn't think it was like, oh, I don't know. I mean, this
Yeah.
type of neighborhood, you wouldn't see that high of a price, but the people were out.
Yep.
And when my client's looking at it, at his phone, he's got he's looking at his interest rate. He pulls up, I don't know where he follows it, but he's like, Well, the interest rates as of yesterday was like 6.75. He's
Yeah.
like, "Is this why everybody's here?" I'm like, "I have
Yeah.
no idea. I
Yeah.
don't know." I mean, it was crazy. So, Neo Cash says, "If the market in my area is bad, like really bad, is it worth me moving 14 hours away from family to be able to actually buy a house?" So, I'm a broken record. I say this every single week. It all depends on your situation, okay? If you're
Mhm.
financially ready, if you have all the money saved, you're pre-approved and it's the right move for you. Look, that's a hard thing to move 14 hours away from your family. And if you start to have your own family and you're that far away from your family, you don't have that support, you're going to be regretting that. Um, I don't know. I mean, I cannot answer that for you. You have to take a hard look at everything of what, your personal situation, your financial situation. So that's what I would be doing. Question: where do you see homeowner insurance rates going with the unpredictable weather patterns? They're going to keep going up. I mean, right, Mike? I don't see insurance rates calming down at all. I think it's this weather that we're having now. I mean, look at the hurricane that just hit Houston.
Mhm.
That was, like, unheard of for June,
Yeah.
for that size of a hurricane. So, guess what's coming this year? I think the hurricane season is gonna be bad, and I think insurance is just gonna continue going up. What's the insurance situation in California like?
We have the similar situation. Of course, we have the fire situation. We have a lot of wildfires. In fact, there's one
Yeah.
going on right now.
Yep.
So there's two ways I look at it. Number one, because of the natural disasters, Florida had all the condo slippage, and then you have those floods in Houston and Texas. We have the wildfires. So obviously, the insurance company had to jack up the prices. But if I look at it as a consumer, of course, I'm a realtor, but if I look at a consumer, I also think that insurance companies are greedy. They're in the business to make money. And there's also what I call price gouging going on. I understand if my insurance goes up double, maybe 25, 30, 100%. But I've seen homes and friends, their insurance has gone up 3 or 4 times in 1 year, from 2,000 to 12,000. So there
Oh
is some
my
price
gosh.
gouging going on, my personal opinion, but there is an increase in insurance that's going to stay. So,
Wow, that high?
yeah.
Now, I heard this was about a year ago, a lot of insurance companies were pulling out of California. I mean, are there any, like, I mean, what companies are you still able to get insurance with out there?
You're still able to get insurance, but the major companies like Allstate, State Farm, there's another Mercury. What they've started doing is they're not giving any new policies to homeowners. They will renew a current policy, but they're not getting new ones. And a lot of them have moved out. And there's a lot of independent, smaller companies, insurance companies. They are giving insurance at a higher rate because everybody wants insurance. So what we used to do, funny thing in escrow, before it used to be, and I'm sure it's happening in New Jersey, we used to tell the buyers, get the inspection done. Now, when I open escrow, I say, get their insurance done right away.
Yep.
It takes 30 days to get insurance. So that's my first thing I tell them, get an
Yep.
insurance.
Yeah,
And I
we
help
do
them with
I
that.
do the same thing. Yeah, we
Yeah.
do now. But,
Yeah.
yes. But I'm telling you, this is gonna be tough because when I'm doing this research weekly for the live stream, for the regular videos, the foreclosures, they're starting to go up because of the insurance rates and the property taxes, and I'm really concerned about that. People are like, "Yeah, I'm getting a home. This is great." And you're pre-approved for that mortgage, right? For that principal and interest and taxes. But, year or two, a few years into it, their payments are soaring.
Yeah.
And it really worries me. So it's I think people really need to plan. They got to plan ahead and be prepared
Absolutely.
and have money, because you are saving money for your down payment and all that and your closing cost. But now you got to have extra. You got to have extra money set aside because this is it's gonna come back to bite you. It really is. Hello, Victor. Thanks for being here. Oh, I'm delighted you're here too. That's awesome. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate everybody being here. This is just, I always say I have the best audience. Hello, Mr. Eddie Smallhorn. Where's your wife? Get that Christina chick on here too. Hello, how are you? Thanks for being here. This is awesome. Dial says market is super slow. What market are you in? I'd say DL. I hope I'm saying your name right. Let me know where are you at? I would love to hear what market you're in. Let me say, Mina, I see a lot of YouTube channels saying market's going to crash. Do you think the northern New Jersey market, Morris County, will crash? In the market to buy because I have to, and I'm very worried. I will tell you, Mina, no, Morris County will not crash. Here's what's happening. Bergen County has gotten so difficult to buy now. Our prices are so high. Now everyone's going out to Passaic, Morris County, even down to South Jersey. They're going into Middlesex County, Monmouth County. Morris County is extremely desirable still because of the access, the rail access to New York City. So Morris County, it's not going to crash. I know you're looking to buy, but we will be in for a correction. That's like I said, this webinar I watched last week, we are going in for a correction. Not going to be a steep correction. They'll come down a little bit. So, but that's what we got. Hello, Clark. Hope you're having a good night too. I'm so glad you're here. And here's my buddy, David. Hello, David. Thanks for being here. This is awesome. I just love you guys are here. It's great. So Jen, we had that other article that was from Redfin, Redfin or Realtor.com, the telltale sign about the spring market coming into the summer. I wanted to bring that up because I wanted to discuss that one with you, Mike, as well.
Okay.
Because I don't know about you, we didn't have much of a spring market here. It was dead. It was dead. So now they're saying, let's see. Hold on. Let me just hide that. Okay. All right. Telltale sign that the housing market spring rush may finally arrive this summer. So a slight drop in mortgage rates in June might have been the jolt the housing market needed to perk up and make up for lost time this summer. A new monthly housing report by Realtor.com reveals the number of new home sellers entering the market grew by 6.3% year over year. This uptick is fresh to market listings, tends to be an indicator of confidence in the housing market. This is according to Realtor.com's chief economist, Danielle Hale. We measure this by looking at newly listed homes, and this point continues to trend up. Meanwhile, the total number of listings, both new in June and older, was 36.7% higher than this same month last year. That marks 8 months of growth after a 17-month streak of decline. Inventory continues to slowly grow toward normalcy. The decrease in mortgage rates seen in June likely contributed to an increased pace of growth and listing activity. We expect selling activity to continue to normalize as rates inch their way down over the next year. The number, oh, Jen, go back down. Sorry, go a little too fast. There you go. The number of homes for sale is up in all 4 regions. Home shoppers looking for the most choices should look in the South, where housing stock has grown the most. And we've been talking about this for months now. Southern metros saw active home listings grow by an average of 48.9%. However, all 4 regions saw increases in the number of homes for sale over the previous year. Listing levels grew by 35.8% in the West, 21.5% in the Midwest, and 12.5% in the Northeast. But the number of homes for sale in all 4 regions were still lower than before the COVID-19 pandemic. While inventory this June is much improved compared with previous 3 years, it is still down 32.4% compared to the typical 2017 to 2019 levels. Housing stock increase in all the largest 50 metros compared with last year. Increases, obviously, Florida. So Tampa's up 93%, Orlando 81.5%, Denver is up 77.9%. Interesting. While most metros still had a lower housing stock than pre-pandemic years, some surpassed those levels. They were predominantly in the South and West, including Austin, Memphis, and San Antonio. I'm a little surprised about Memphis. I'm hearing like that Memphis is starting to soften. Have you been hearing that, Mike, about Memphis, Tennessee?
I know Nashville has slowed down a little bit. Nashville, yeah, I mean, there is some slowdown. Like I said, every state is different.
Yeah.
People that want to move from East Coast to West Coast, going in the mid states or whatever, that may slow down too. So that may affect their home sale prices, because people migrate from East Coast and West Coast going to middle.
Yep.
to-
I mean, I think you're right. The migration has definitely slowed down, and the work from home thing is just it's kind of a done deal. It's not being done that much anymore. So yeah, I can understand that. I mean, that's the thing we're seeing here in New Jersey, that the New York migration has definitely slowed. And that's why they're saying that things should start to calm down somewhat. We hope, and the prices will come down. So we'll, I mean, we shall see. But I was just saying, Memphis, I thought that would still be a hot area where people want to move to, Tennessee, like Nashville, Memphis, because I know Austin now is just, forget it. Like that's just, that was so inflated, those prices, and Florida too. But so anyway, so what else did we got, Miss Jen? I'm seeing lots of comments here. So this is a comment to Teresa. I was from Bayville, live in Florida. I would like a place maybe in Tom's River. I want to live in New Jersey 2 or 3 months a year, looking for a small second place. Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, Tom's River. If you're looking for 55 and over, there's plenty there, and they're very reasonably priced. And I have a great agent down there I can refer you to. In-laws are in Tom's River. That's where my husband grew up. There's a certain community buying up lots of properties and driving prices up way in that area. Yes, Therese, yes, we know that. Sweet Pea from Raleigh, North Carolina. Seeing price drops, lowering listing prices. Prices up over 100% in my neighborhood since 2018. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's unusual. Yeah.
Damn. But I just, I read that recently. There was an article I did for one of my videos, or maybe it was a live stream, that Raleigh was one of the most, was one of those markets where the prices are definitely coming down. So it's definitely a more another overinflated market thanks to COVID. We have a question to you, Mike. This one's, he's asking about Anaheim. He wants to know Anaheim Hill home prices in 2025.
Well, I live in Anaheim Hills myself, and I sell a lot of homes here, and I see definitely a price increase for sure. At least the prediction is 4 to 5%, but it may be over higher. We have a lot of buyers that are not being able to afford in Irvine and those areas. They shift over here. And it's a different community compared to other metro cities or towns in Orange County. So definitely see a price increase.
So what's the most popular in your market? Like what's the most popular towns or cities?
Well, I'm in North Orange County. Irvine is a very popular city in Orange County because it's near the airport. It's a tech city, what I call the Bay Area of Southern California. And there's a lot of new homes over there. The lots are very small. The property tax, Melrose assessments are very high. So in Orange County, the usual property tax is about 1.1%. But some of these new communities in Irvine is up to 1.7, 1.9% annually. So all those people that don't want to pay the high prices and the high taxes come to Tustin Ranch or Anaheim Hills or Yorba Linda. I just sold a house in Yorba Linda 2 weeks ago. He came from Denver, and he switched from Irvine to Yorba Linda once he found out all this information. And
wow.
Yeah.
And what's the home prices? What's the average home prices there?
The Yorba Linda one I sold was 1.6. It was about 3,500 square feet, big yard. But Anaheim Hills medium home price a few months ago was 1.1, 1.2.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Expensive. Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy. And in Irvine, for $1 million, condos are going for 900,000, 800,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Oh my God.
And very small lots, and you're very tight. You have parking issues. So, but people still buy in Irvine, but a lot of people who don't want that lifestyle or those prices are moving out. So our prices are going up. Yeah, definitely.
God, that's insane. That's insane. It sounds like Jersey.
Yeah.
Sounds like what we got going on here.
Yeah.
Darius says, hi, Jackie. I ended up getting my house at 6.125. It floated down from 6.7 in Virginia. Good for you. Oh my gosh. I haven't heard that rate in a very long time. Neocash says the New York City migration is still moving into northern New York, making it hard for people here to buy. Yeah, you know what? They're looking at Jersey's becoming more unaffordable, so I can see why they're going to go upstate New York. It's definitely, yeah. Clark says some businesses are calling back people into the office space. Yeah, I mean, that's been going on for a couple of years now. And I think now, like I have a good friend who her job was in the city. COVID happened. I think once they opened up, I think she went to the city 1 day a week, then 2 days a week. Now she's back in 3 days a week. And she's like, if they want us to go back in 5 days a week, I'm quitting. I'm like, well, what are you going to do? You were doing it before the pandemic. So yeah, but yeah, I think we're all, all the companies are just, they've had it. They want people in. My husband's got a new job. He has to go in every day of the week. It's no remote at all. Florida's still inflated. Yes, it is, but they are coming down. Those prices are definitely, we're seeing them drop. Someday defects. Home sales on the Colorado Front Range has slowed a lot. Under 600,000 move, above this price is sitting a lot. Interesting. Wow. Yeah. Well, look, you know what? The buyers are speaking out. They're done. They're done with these high prices, the inflated prices with the interest rates. I mean, they've had it. It's just we just can't do it anymore. MH08 says we were supposed to go back to the office September 2020. In July 2020, they told us we were never going back. Yep. Well, there were some that still, I mean, do you find that by you, Mike? Are there a lot of people out there that are still remote?
Yeah, my daughter used to work from home and now she has to go in twice a week at least. And she's saying that it may be more, but I'm hearing from other people that more and more companies want them to come back. Not just because of COVID, but they want to increase their efficiency because they feel the efficiency of work has gone down. And they want people to come back and communicate and talk and share ideas. That's not happening. So that's one of the other reasons they're doing that.
Right. Yep. Okay. Clark says Metro Atlanta has appreciated a lot with people flocking into the area. The home prices don't match with the typical income compared to the home prices. Yep. Same here, Clark. Same here. I mean, I can't get over the amount of $1 million homes. Yep. Same here. Mina says crazy. The starter homes are $500,000 easy and still going 50 to 70K over asking. It's hard to see that those same homes were in the 300, 400 range in 2020. Mina, I totally agree with you. When I tell you, I can't get over the fact that back in April, the median home price, sale price in Bergen County, New Jersey, my market, was $787,000. 4 years ago, it was like high fours, low fives. Like, what the heck? And that number just keeps going up. So it's going to be, I just hope they come down, but it's not going to be enough for people to be able to afford it. Clark says most single people need to make $150K a year to sustain a mortgage, and the AMI is around 78K a year. It's not equating. No, it is not. This is why I do get concerned, like I said before, regarding the foreclosures. People are focusing on the pre-approval and that mortgage payment. And so, okay, little insight. The video I'm putting out tomorrow is about people who were renting and they became homeowners, and the shock of the cost of home ownership, and what just the cost of utilities they were shocked about, coming from an apartment to a house. And all the other things that go along with it. The property taxes is the biggest thing. And you'll see, I don't want to divulge too much what's in the video, but it basically talks about all the things, maintenance, renovations, the property taxes, the insurance, all of that. And when people go into a house and they're like, I'm pre-approved for, this much, and this is going to be my mortgage payment, it's like, that's all they're focusing on. And then it's like total shock when they're living in a house and all the bills start coming in. So the FOMO of people wanting to get into a house and, I had to be in a house. And now they're realizing that it's not that easy to afford. So Terry says SC, so South Carolina is #1 in national growth. Housing is ridiculous. Yes. I just spoke to a friend last week. Actually, a client of mine sold his house 2 years ago. He moved down to South Carolina. He is loving it. It's hot as heck, but he's loving it down there. But yeah, I'm not surprised about that. We're probably more efficient at home without all of the office. Oh, you're talking about working from home. You're more efficient at home without the office distractions. You know what? I agree with that, because whenever I go into my office to do all my real estate stuff, I hate doing it, because then I end up hanging out chatting with everybody and I get nothing done. I don't know about you, Mike. Are you
That
working? Are
happens.
you at
Yep.
home all the time?
We end up in chats all the time, and then next thing you know, it's half an hour, and say, what happened? So
I know.
yeah,
It's like, oh, I didn't get that contract written. Hold on.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Dallas, hey, thanks for being here. Looks like people's only chance of buying a home is to be willing to move to its least desirable neighborhoods. I mean, look, Detroit, Chicago, those are becoming popular areas, and you never know. Like people moving in there could turn things around. All of these least affordable places, not least, I'm sorry, the cheapest places to live are going to be, those prices are going to start going up. Mark my words. Watch. Yeah, hard to tell where things are going. It is hard to tell. Like, let's be real, Mike. I mean, it's hard to predict. And I say this every week and I feel like a broken record. It's like, it's hard to predict where the market is going to be headed, where it's going. Nobody can really truly predict like this. They're saying they're forecasting prices could go between 4 and 5%. The world could go crazy tomorrow and we can have a big economic disaster. And prices could come crashing down. We don't know.
We don't know.
But the best thing to do is just to be prepared, be prepared for it. Bridget Stone, Harry Dent saying housing prices to drop 40 to 50% with recession coming as well. Who's Harry Dent? Do we know who that is? Do you know who that is, Mike?
I've heard of him. He's a quote economist. I've heard his videos. He's got a YouTube channel. He's got books out. And you know what? There's so many analysts out there, so many gurus out there. I don't take word of one particular person or not. I take an average, or it's hard to predict. I could say it's 50%. You could say it's 10%. Who's right? So you have to look at the overall picture. What's happening? What has happened? Yeah. One thing is for sure. Consumers have been saying that prices are going to drop since 2019, 2020. It's 2025 almost, and they still haven't dropped. Prices have been going up since 2011, gradually. For the first time in history, we're up over 10 years. Who knows? It's it's very unpredictable, and we just don't know. We have to go by what's going on, be prepared, and that's how it is.
Exactly. Exactly. I have to look up this guy now, this Harry Dent. Now I have to go watch his stuff.
He's got some
he's a financial author. Thank you, Bridget, for sharing. Now I have to go watch him. Yep. Go check him out. Clark, you chat in the office too? Yeah, I know. I'm a patty chatty in the office. It's really bad if you can't tell already. Sammy, hello, Sammy. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you're here. I've spoken to Sammy on the phone several times. I'm doing great. Buddy of mine bought a house in Warren in August, got the most recent tax bill. It went up $10K.
Ooh.
I know, Sammy and we've talked about that. And I know that was a concern of yours, like buying a house, your taxes go up. And that's always been like this thing people had in their minds, like, oh, as soon as I close on my house, aren't my taxes going to go up? No, because you have to look at the assessment cycle, of how often is the town reassessing the values of the home to raise the taxes, right? So you have to look at that prior to buying. 10K.
Wow.
That hurts. That really hurts. Oh my gosh. Bridget says you cannot ignore some of the warnings from financial people. No, definitely not ignore them. But because I tell people, I tell all of you, like, I appreciate everybody watching me, but definitely like watch everybody, come up with your own conclusion based on, like Mike said, watch and read what these different analysts are saying, and then you can come up with your own conclusion, or you have all the information you need to make an educated decision as to whether or not you're going to buy or sell your house. So that's what I'm saying. That's my story.
Can I add one more thing to that, Jackie, what you said?
Sure.
Can I add one more thing? The other thing is very hard to predict is because the market is very local. So what's happening in New York may not be happening in Texas. So it's very local market. And even within the county, it's very local. So it's very unpredictable.
Yes.
But we just have to generalize overall, so.
Exactly. And then when you're looking, wherever you're looking, make sure you work with a real estate agent local to that market, and they know everything that's going on in that market. Jen, it looks like Bridget has a question. Here we go. Thank you. Hello again, Bridget. What is your advice to buy now and refinance when rates come down? Okay. It's got to make sense financially, right? So There's that saying that went around, marry the house and date the rate. And apparently the mortgage lenders in the world, like apparently they got in trouble for that they shouldn't have been saying that. But you could do that. You could do it, because here's the thing. If prices are going to continue to rise, you probably are, you should consider purchasing it now if you can do it. Like, you have to make sure everything is according to what you're ready to do it financially. And you can. I was just having this conversation with my clients on Saturday when we were looking at this house, and it was like, well, if we bought it now and say in a couple of years we could refinance, because their concern was, because they've been at this for a couple of years now, the prices keep going up, and their concern was, we can't reduce the price, but we can reduce our monthly payment by refinancing. So that, you know what, you got to, what I would do is I would talk to a mortgage lender and do the math and see how that would end up for you. That's what I would do. So, all right, what else do we have? Fresco Bar. Oh my God, I haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for being here. I hate to sound so bad, but if I had to sell my house today and I just bought a year ago, I'd ask for about $100K more than I got it for a year ago. Listen, you don't sound bad, but listen, if your home is worth 100,000 more, you can definitely ask that price. You have to see what the market, what the market is doing there. You don't have to sell, and inventory in my area is still very low. But if your market commands that 100,000 over, you can easily sell it. So glad you're here. I haven't got, so good to see you back here, Fresco Bar. I appreciate it. Refinancing costs you every time. Yes. You do have closing costs again with refinancing. I forgot to mention that. So if you are going to refinance, you are going to pay fees on that. That's why I would always get all the details from a lender, because they're the ones who are doing this, and they're going to tell you exactly what it would cost you and if it would be actually worth it. So, all right, I'm just trying to see what else we got here. I think we're good. So, okay, so let's talk about, because I got to bring this up every week because it's coming up, Mike, August 17th.
Right. Okay.
The real estate commission nightmare.
Big topic. Huge topic.
Christina talked about it on her live stream yesterday, and the comments, oh my gosh. So, all right, we'll talk about this, but please no hate. Telling everybody out there watch this, please no hate on real estate agents. Yeah. So this is going to be so difficult, because now sellers are going to be savvy. They know that they don't have to offer the full 3%, 2.5%. And I just think it's going to be tricky, because if they want to make, so if a buyer has to, they want to make an offer on it, and even say they're not, so if the seller's offering 0, it's hurting the pocketbook of the buyer. And I think them going in, I think the best thing they're going to be doing is reducing the price by what they have the commission is, right? Or they're going to ask for a concession. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I see what they're trying to do, like with this whole lawsuit. They want to make it fair for the seller, but they're going to end up paying anyway. Not so much that they're going to be paying that 2.5% or 3% out. It's just they're going to be paying it whether they lose it in the price of their house, or they're going to do some type of concession. Yeah. I mean, Mike, what do you think? What's your gut telling you?
My gut's telling me, first of all, that buyers are not going to be happy, and they're not happy already listening to the news of paying. So buyers are probably not going to end up paying. So obviously the seller may have to give us concessions. We cannot call it commissions anymore.
Yep.
So the seller may give concessions to the buyers, and that can be incorporated into our commissions. And right now the market is very strong. Homes are selling. So the seller may be tough on not paying the buyer's agent commission. So we may have to go to the buyers. But let's assume we're in a normal market, and I still feel we're not in a normal market. Once we're in a normal market and homes are taking 3, 4, 5 months to sell, or 60 days, whatever, they're going to have to pay that commission to sell their house, because they cannot move until they got sold. And the other thing is, when they go buy a house, if I sold my house as a seller and now I'm buying another house, am I going to pay the commission? I have to think how the buyer's thinking, because a seller will become a buyer too.
That's
So
right.
I think it's going to work itself out. There's a lot of panic amongst agents, including myself, because it's a big unknown. We
Yep.
don't know how the buyers are going to take it. I know that I just did a TikTok video yesterday. I have a lot of views on it, and 99% of the buyers don't want to pay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
it's unknown territory. We'll find out in a month or so what's going to happen.
It's going to be
It's
interesting.
gonna be interesting. Yeah.
I got to tell you, I have agita every day. Like every day it gets closer. I'm like, oh, I don't know how this is going to go.
Yeah.
I'm not happy about it.
Yeah.
Clark says the seller will still have to pay fees on the other side when they go by. Yes, you're right. Like yeah, right. What Mike just said. It'll probably be a lot of lawsuits in the future. Oh, speaking of lawsuits, Mike, did you hear about this one? Another lawsuit came out. I think who brought that? Did we talk about it last week? I don't think we did. So, you know, the showing time, right? You know, the showing time
Right.
feature. So showing time, so explain to everybody, showing time is the app that real estate agents use to schedule the showings. Once we're done with the showings, we get a notification asking for feedback on the house.
Mhm.
So there's a case, I forget where it was. I don't know if it was out by you or it was in Arizona or something. It was somewhere out like towards the west. The real estate agent gave feedback on the listing, and it was feedback from the buyer. And they said they made some negative comments about the house. They ended up putting an offer on it. And the seller learned that this was the buyer that made the negative comments on the feedback. And the seller was annoyed about it. So apparently he wasn't budging. I guess he didn't budge on certain things on the inspection and blah, 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 whatever. So now they close on the house. The buyer turned around is now suing the agent for putting the feedback, giving that feedback back to the seller, causing the seller to be like to turn negative on them. And they felt they could have gotten a better deal if the seller wasn't so like harsh or like so upset about their feedback.
Right.
That
Wow.
like, are you kidding me? So
Yeah.
now I'm like, now what? Now I'm not going to give feedback on a house.
Yeah.
So now we were like, oh my, I feel like we are targets now. I
We're
really
targets.
do.
We have to be very careful. I just showed a house on showing time, use showing time, and I did not put feedback, and I'm not going to anymore,
No, it's
because
not
I
worth
didn't know
it.
about this lawsuit. That's new, but I see it happening.
Yeah.
Buyers
Yeah.
are frustrated. They're paying higher prices, high interest rate, taxes are up, McDonald's is up, everything's up.
Yep.
They're going to take out frustration somewhere. They're up to here, and I don't blame them. And whatever it takes them to release the pressure,
Yep.
and the lawsuits is one of them. It's coming, and this
Oh,
may turn into a class action lawsuit. Who knows?
Yep. There'll be more. There'll be more. So Katie, hey Katie, thanks for being here. Building a home in Colorado Springs will be finished January, February 25. Lender says interest rates are at 7.5-ish right now. Do you think rates will go down by the time we close? I hope so. That's what they're predicting. They're saying for the rest of the year, they're going to be hovering around 7%, high sixes till the end of this year. Going into next year, I have no idea. I hope for your sake they do. The thing with building new construction, this is the one thing I don't like about it, because you can't lock into your rate. It takes like how many months, you're building it now. It's not going to be ready until next February. And you can't lock in for so what are we talking about? November, December, she can't lock into her rate. So I hope they do. I mean, I'm hearing that they're going to be in the high sixes. So, I mean, have you dealt with a lot of new construction out there, Mike?
I've sold some new construction just a few months ago, but a lot of them are giving buy downs and incentives. So you might pay a higher rate, but if they give you, I just sold a house where they gave 40,000 in credits, and they bought the low. If you use their lender, they gave us 6% versus 7%, but you have to use their lender.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but it's hard to predict where the rates are going to go. Nobody could tell.
No, just got to keep an eye on them.
Yeah.
Francis, hello, Francis. It's just more sounds of the housing market dying. Francis, you're just a ray of sunshine. Clark says everything an agent does is under a You are so right, Clark. It's so scary. Yeah, the thing with new construction is to lock in rate time. It could be a good thing or bad thing depending on how the market swings. Yep, absolutely. But going back to Clark's comment that we're going to be under a microscope. We are. I also heard today regarding this whole NAR settlement. It's not final. They haven't finalized it yet. I think the DOJ is still reviewing it. Nothing's been finalized yet. We have to implement all these new rules August 17th.
Right.
So they may come back again. I think they said in October or November with more.
I heard there's an appeal. Is there an appeal out? I think they've appealed it, and hopefully they'll change it. We're hoping, at least in Orange County, amongst Realtor talk, we're hoping that before August 17th, there's another delay put on. That gives us more time to adjust our thinking and the bias and all that.
Yeah.
So we're hoping for a delay, but there is an appeal out from what I understand or from what I've heard.
I didn't hear about an appeal. Clark, do you know about an appeal? Chime in.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I haven't heard of any appeals. I don't know about that,
Okay.
but
Yeah,
I know the DOJ. The DOJ is watching it very closely right now because your state, the California Association of Realtors, they were under the microscope by the DOJ with the changes in the your buyer agency agreement. I don't know what exactly it was, but that came under fire.
Okay.
And they had to go back. You guys had to go, but the association had to go back and make changes to it. So this whole thing has me just, it's just uneasy. I mean, look, I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing, service my clients, do what I can. But like I said, I just feel like we got to watch every little thing that we do because of those shady agents that ruined it for the rest of us.
Yep.
You know?
Absolutely right. Yep.
Right. And the good thing is, it's just in New Jersey. I just learned this on this webinar. As of, I want to say, I think he says as of April or May, New Jersey has already lost 6,000 real estate agents that left the business.
Wow.
And I'm like, that's okay. Weed them out.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, we're down to what, 1.3 million realtors compared to peak time 2 million in 2021, and we're down to 1.4 or even less.
But you know what? Good, because so many people got into this business in 2021 thinking, no, this is easy money.
Yep.
And now they're all out. And hopefully the shady ones won't be you know, they'll get out because they're going to be under the microscope. All right, Jen says, hasn't this already rolled out in some places in the US already? Yeah, some states have already had buyer agency agreements. Yeah, some are start to implement it. Here in New Jersey, we have seen some listings go on the market where sellers are offering way under 2.5%. We are starting to see it. But officially it's supposed to roll out nationwide August 17th. That's the word on the street. Most buyer agent were in fact just door openers anyway. Well, I don't agree with that, but maybe some were. Yeah, they're open doors and whatever. Yes. I mean, I don't just open doors. I do way more than that. Clark says, I didn't hear about an appeal, but it could be wrong. I know NAR was going to appeal it at first, but don't know what happened. Yeah. They should appeal it, but I don't know. I'm sorry. They just sold all of us out. The way they handled that whole thing, they did not have good representation at all by the attorneys.
And it happened so fast. I mean, next thing you know, it's done. Usually takes 2-3 years to go on, and it just happens so fast.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, can you believe this all came to a head? It was last October. I remember having a meeting in my office when my parent company settled. So Anywhere settled. It was Anywhere, and I think Remax, and I forgot the other one, but we all settled before the final NAR settlement happened. And I remember hearing this and I was like, oh my God, what's going to happen? We're all going to get sued. And but now watch nothing will change. Nothing's going to happen.
We'll just have to see. So we're going to the unknown and we don't know, but we'll just deal with it as it comes, like anything else, so.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, have you spoken with any clients yet? Have they raised any concerns about it? Like selling,
what I'm doing now,
selling and buying?
Yeah. What I'm telling them now is, and a lot of my clients are people I know or referrals. So I tell them, look, I'm showing you homes right now. I'm not having you sign a buyer broker agreement, but starting August 17, once we go out, we're going to have to sign a buyer broker agreement, and we are going to have to agree on a commission. Hopefully you don't have to pay. We're going to ask the seller to pay. So I'm kind of getting through that, but I haven't made anybody sign yet.
Me
But
neither.
our office wants us to start signing the papers so we get used to it. It is practice. It is understanding how the buyers feel, because it's a touchy subject. And we want the buyers to have the house, but this is an additional expense to them. So we don't know how they're going to react.
Right. Exactly. Yep. Yeah, but I haven't had anybody sign it yet either. And like I have clients I'm working with right now. I'm like, I'm just going to wait till the bitter end. I'm not going to do it yet.
Yeah, I'm going to wait.
Yep. Finesse says, how do you find a buyer's agent? When I went to buy my house I'm in now, I just called the realtor I saw on Zillow for the house I wanted. I mean, that's a way to go. I mean, you could work with the listing agent. The problem is you're in dual agency, and dual agency isn't always the best thing because you're not getting full representation from the buyer side. So you could get referrals. You could ask somebody, for a referral for an agent, like who's somebody used. Sorry, I have a big spider on my wall. I hate this summer. This is why I hate this summer.
Oh,
like,
man. Yeah.
bugs. Oh my God. Okay, he's gone. All right. Anyway. Oh my God. All right. But you can get referrals from people. Just contact your local real estate office, whatever company, and get recommendations for someone that represents buyers. Listen, dual agency is not the way to go. And now my concern is with this lawsuit thing, this whole settlement, buyers they're going to want to avoid paying that commission, so they're going to want to go to work directly with the listing agent. It's not the best thing. It's not. The seller has a responsibility. The listing agent has a responsibility to the seller only. So, hey, what's up, Mr. Kofi? Thanks for being here. Clark says, no, the lawyers are horrible. I was keeping up with the case, and the people who came to the stand didn't make no sense. And I read the lawsuit. It was so hypocritical in regard to why they sued. I know, right? That whole lawsuit did not make sense to me at all. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I didn't follow the entire thing, Clark, but I had heard that the lawyers alone that represented NAR they were god awful. So, and every state doesn't offer dual agency, so hopefully it is legal in your state. Yeah, it's legal in our state. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can do dual agency. Okay, thank you. It's the first time I don't know anything. Sorry. Well, that's why you watch YouTube. You watch people like me, Mike, Christina, all of us real estate YouTubers. That's why you watch us. We're here to help you. So, anyway, we'll see what happens with this. I think 2025 is going to be very interesting. Mm-hmm. With even if the rates come down, we have this whole lawsuit thing to be dealing with and the commissions. And I think buyers are just going to, buyers are not going to take it. Yeah. They're not. And then we also have to be very careful when we're talking to sellers. Like you said, you can say, you can offer, see what I would say to a seller, it's like, and you have to say this, you can offer whatever you want. If you want to offer a buyer's agent compensation, you can do that, or you can choose not to. Mm-hmm. And then just see what happens, and I'll say, and I've actually said this to a seller recently and said, then we'll see what happens, because then the buyer can't afford it. They may just take it off the price. Mm-hmm. So, but next year is going to be very, very interesting. Can you explain how new realtor fees works? I'm used to the standard 6%. Right. So the 6% was the seller pays their listing agent 3%. They're going to pay the buyer's agent 3%. So now the new realtor fee is the way it works. The seller can choose not to offer out 3% at all, or they can offer 2%, 1%, 1.5%, 2.5%, whatever they want. And then if that's the case, so say if they offer 0%, they're not offering any compensation to the buyer's agent, then the buyer needs to come up with that out of their pocket based on what they agreed with their agent, what they would get paid should that situation arise where the seller's not offering buyer compensation. So this is where it's a big problem. This is why I keep saying, if somebody's offering 0, the buyer they're the ones who are going to be hurting. And so they're going to come back and say, they're going to try and negotiate it. they're going to come back and when they write the offer, they're going to say, they're asking to pay the buyer's compensation, or they're going to offer a lesser price minus
Mhm.
the 2.5%, 3% what they would be paying their agent. So that's it in a nutshell. Hey, howdy, Bawa Azat. Thanks for being here. Mr. Kofi, how do you research an agent before knowing they're the one for, other than trying them out? Is there an objective means to discern their past performance, simply similar to hiring a contractor? Well, look, I always say interview at least 3 agents, and then you just get a feel, because you got to have a connection. It's a relationship. You're going to be working with this person for a while. And if there's like no real connection there, then I wouldn't be working with them. You also want to feel trust too. You want to be able to trust that agent. You want to, you don't want to feel like that they're just like a used car salesman. They're trying to sell you a house, right? We're not here to sell you a house. We're here to be your advocate and help you, get into the right house and guide you through that whole process. Am I right, Mike?
Yep. I say, feel them out. I mean, buying a home is emotional, selling a home is emotional. And the way to work with an agent, you can't just ask them questions. You could, but just talk to them. If you feel comfortable, if you feel like you can trust them, go for it. And unless you have a written contract, you can always find another one. But starting August 17, you're supposed to have a buyer broker agreement.
Yes.
So even before you sign, like Jackie said, interview a couple of agents or 3 agents, ask for referrals from your friends and family that have bought in that neighborhood, and they'll refer you and go from there. But buying a home and selling is very emotional, and sometimes you have to go with your gut feelings.
Correct. Absolutely, Mike. Thank you. The listing agent gets paid at least. Yes, the listing agent gets paid. The buyer agent will get paid, whether it be from the buyer or the seller, if they decide to offer to pay the compensation. You are so welcome. This might help more new construction sales because the sales agent does most of the paperwork. Did they put this lawsuit in place to benefit them? Oh my gosh, Clark. Really? Now you had to put that thought in my head. I don't know. Asma says, hi, do you recommend buying a house as soon as we find a good opportunity, or is it better to wait till next year? We live in Maryland and price is still very high. If you are ready to make that move, if you're in a position where you have everything saved and you're ready to buy, if the opportunity presents itself, yeah, I would definitely jump on it. If it's a house you love, the price is right, the planets align. Yeah, definitely. I would definitely do that. As long as you have everything, all your financial ducks in a row. We were referred to an agent through our lender. If we go through the referral program, we get $4,000 cash back. He's been good so far. Oh, awesome. That's kind of cool. All right. Even though the new sales agent represents the builder as a client and you, the buyer, are a customer. Yeah, good point, Clark. That's right. That's like dual agency. We referred. Okay, we already saw that one, Jen. The next one, Francis. Francis is buying a home should never be emotional. You should use your sound logical judgment and ask yourself if you should be buying a home at historical index highs. Well, for most people, Francis, it is emotional because this is the home. This is a place they want to call home. They want to raise their family there. They want to have holidays. They want to spend, have family gatherings. So it is emotional. Especially for a lot of our millennials that are struggling. They're struggling to get into a house, and they're tired of renting living in these shoebox apartments, and that's what they desire to be in a home. Did you hear about some states looking to eliminate property tax? Idaho, all property tax. Colorado, Georgia property tax revenue cap on ballot 2024. Nebraska, Kansas property tax rev cap possibly. No, I did not hear about that. Clark heard about it. Thanks, Clark. I have not. Now I got to do a little research on that one. Thanks for the idea for next week's topic. All right. Last week's joke. Why did the real estate agent cross the roads to get to the open house? But thank you. That was a good one. Thanks, Mr. Kofi. I appreciate that. So lots of things to look forward to the rest of this year and then going into next year. I'm hoping, I hope the market turns and makes it easier for buyers. mean, we'll see. Any advice on new builders? Corey asked this question. So, as far as like what builders to go with or what to look for in a new builder, have you worked with any particular large builders, Mike? Like say like Toll Brothers,
Mhm.
Lennar? Who does a lot of building out in California?
Well, we have Toll Brothers here. They do a lot of custom homes. We have Lennar, we have DR Horton, we have Meritage Homes, we have a lot of
Yep.
smaller builders. But
Okay.
yeah, I mean, a lot of them are DR Hortons are huge. Lennar's a huge company.
Yeah.
And each there's a lot of also smaller builders that are very regional, like they serve Orange County only or Southern California only, and they're good builders.
Okay.
So you just do your homework like anything else. You know, do your
Yep.
research. Everything's changing, especially now. Do more research than you were doing before. Check out the
Yep.
builders, check out the lenders, check out everything.
Yeah, as far as like a new builder or checking or like want to research builders in general, go to the neighborhood where they've already if there's homes already built and people living in the community, talk to the people that live there and ask them about their experience and how they, how much they like the house, if they ran into any issues during the process. If you have a lot of Lennar in your area, I can tell you, speaking from personal experience, I had purchased a home built by Lennar. The experience was great. I felt they were on top of everything, but the quality, I had some issues about a year and a half into it, like just like minor things. But I don't know. But again, talk to people in the community that already live there, where that builder is building, get their feedback. CC Rachel says, it's interesting to see how payments work out. Realtors will have to navigate actually getting their money from buyers in some cases. Even with a contract, things can fall through and people can refuse to pay. Oh, that's very possible.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. It's going to be very interesting to see how that rolls out. But yep. We're in for some crazy times ahead. Should be.
Yeah.
It's going to be exciting, Mike.
Yeah,
Aren't you looking
exciting.
forward to it?
Yeah. Well, we're ready for it. We got to do what we got to do. We always have challenges and we got to go on, but this is a big one. It's a big change.
It is.
A
Yep.
big change, more for buyers than us, but even for us, it's a big change. And we are all kind of scared in the sense, not scared, but we don't know what's out there. How the
Yep.
buyers are going to react to the commissions, how the sellers are going to react. I'm not going to pay the commission. What's going to happen? A lot of agents are going to get hungrier than they are right now. A lot of agents are hungry in the sense, it'll affect the income and the timings and all that. So
Yep.
challenging times, but we just have to move on with it.
Yep. You're absolutely right. And we will. We will get this too shall pass. We'll get through it. All the things is just I'm stressing me out. Just really stressing me out. I mean, not so much for me. I just worry about the buyers already. Like I know all the buyers I work with right now, they're struggling as it is.
Yeah.
It's oh God. Anyway.
Yeah, it's a challenge because the buyers barely put the down payment together, closing costs together, reserve funds together. Now they got to come with the commission. Or an FHA buyer who barely comes up with a 3.5% down.
I know.
He's going to come up with another 3% commission.
How are they going to do that?
How are they going to do that? Or a VA buyer, and VA buyers cannot legally pay buyers commission. That's a whole new challenge right there. Yep. Legally, buyers cannot. So if I sell a VA home, legally I cannot sell them because they cannot pay me commission unless the buyer, the seller pays. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
We have a comment here. Question. Kingston Conant says, as a first-time home buyer, is it best to do 20% down payment or is the lowest down payment better? Okay. Again, this is a question for a lender to see what your payments, how your monthly payments are going to end up if you put 20% down versus like 5% down. That will help you like decide what would be the best, amount to put down to lower your monthly payment. Now, I tell you, in this insane market we've had the last 4 years, the more money you put down, the stronger you look as a buyer. My hope is we're coming into back to the normal times where a person could put 5% down and they weren't like looked down upon that, like, oh, you only have 5%, like, or with the bidding wars, if you had 5%, like don't even bother because people are putting 20% or more to win the house. So, But as far as looking at your monthly payments, talk to your mortgage lender about that and have them, and they'll spell it out for you. They'll show you, this is what it's going to cost you, 20% down, 5% down, what your payments will be. So anyway, Francis, my ray of sunshine. Here we go. The best of the worst is yet to come. People bought houses they cannot afford. Again, the situation is much bigger disaster than the great financial crisis. Francis, I always hope you are wrong. Listen, I appreciate your opinions on this. I just hope you're not right on that, but you never know. Clark says, even those buyers using down payment assistance program, they typically don't have much saved. How will they be able to afford a good realtor to help through the buying process? You're right. It's just, it's going to be very challenging times ahead.
Yep.
I would take this one last comment. I was happy with my last realtor until negotiation time. How important is for, I was happy with my last realtor negotiate. How is it important for a realtor to negotiate for their seller? It's super important. Like they're working for you. You have to they got to negotiate. Look, you want to come to have a meeting of the minds. I mean, some people, it does get emotional. The buyer wants one thing, the seller will not budge, or the buyer won't budge, or whatever. You have to come to a common ground. But the realtor is working, whether it be your listing agent, your buyer agent, they're working on your behalf. They're working for you. So when they're negotiating, they're negotiating for you. And that's how it should be. So, Jem, what's that last one there? Mawa, as it has, I understand you can take out max 10K from your Roth IRA without paying 10% penalty if you're not 59 and a half years old. Yes, I think that is correct. Is that right, Mike?
To be honest, I have no idea on this. Sorry about that.
Okay, I think that's right. Okay. I don't know. The lender I do a lot of business with, he throws that stuff out there to me, like, oh, you can pull money from your 401k, you can pull money from here. So I think that is true. What are the pitfalls of for sale by owner? If you're buying for sale by owner, if you're a first-time buyer and you're buying for sale by owner, I'd be very, very careful. Because if you don't have someone working with you on that, like a buyer's agent, you could run into a lot of problems. You may miss a lot of things and you could get taken advantage of. But look, no shade on people that want to sell for sale by owner, but that's always been my gut. Like, I just feel like you need representation. Even if you have a lawyer, though. I mean, it's great to have a lawyer to go walk through all the legal aspects of it, but they're not there looking at the house with you. So it's important to have an agent for sure. That guy says buyers will learn the industry quick, fast, in a hurry as not to pay the buyer's agent and still won't save those points on the purchase price. Yeah, we'll see. We shall see about that. So I wanted to share with everybody before we wrap up. Hold on a second. Wanted to share Mike's channel with everybody. So if anybody's in the Orange County, California area, this is Mike's channel, Real Estate Simplified. He's got a lot of great content.
Thank you for sharing, Jackie. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. So check out Mike's channel. If you're looking to move to the out to the Orange County area, please call Mike. He's your guy. And I really thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. It was a good talk about the market as usual. And hopefully everybody stays cool. It's going to be really flipping hot this week. So at least it's going to be hot here. I don't know about out in California, Mike, but
it's hot. It's hotter than normal, but it's cooling down. But it has been hot. Yeah.
How hot has it been out there? Is it over 100?
No, it doesn't get that hot in Orange County. It's about 80, 85.
Okay. We're going to get in the like heat index is going to be like 105, 108 here.
Yeah, that's hot. Yeah.
Great. Can't wait, but it's summer. So, all right. Anyway, so everybody, thank you for being here. I'll be back again next week with more stuff to talk about in the housing market. Mike, thank you so much for being here. It's been a pleasure. Please come back again. I loved having this conversation. So,
Thank you for inviting. I appreciate it. Yeah.
All right, everybody, have a wonderful week, and I'll see y'all next Monday.
Thank you.
All right, bye.